Nice to meet you. I am 50 years old. Almost 51. Can you believe that? Shocked the hell out of me too. I have spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy. Spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy is defined as having tense muscle tone in all four limbs, and around the mouth area. It's extremely frustrating and quite embarrassing when my body decides to have a field day in front of people. My mouth widens abnormally, and my face scrunches up because I am fighting with my own body to calm down. God, that was so embarrassing throughout my educational career. Growing up in the 80s was shitty, and, to be honest, my father didn't think I needed a communicator. He thought that with exhaustive work in forming proper letter sounds that it would clear my dysarthria, a disturbance of muscle control in and around the mouth. This man even had the doctors perform an MRI on my brain to see whether it was possible to cut out the affected part of my brain. Seriously. Being in the affected body, I knew from a young age that I would never speak clearly, regardless of how many years of practicing papa mmm sounds. But, parents, sigh. During my senior year in high school, my father granted me permission to use an Epson voice synthesizer during school time. Wow. But my elation quickly dissipated when I found that utilizing it was more of a pain than speaking. I felt trapped. I had a clunky communicator, but no one encouraged me to use it. My high school lent me an expensive word processor. That's what I used it as until graduation. Anywho, I graduated from Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania in 1997 with a bachelor's in English with a minor in journalism. I wanted to be the first disabled anchorwoman for Channel 10 News. I had this aspiration when my speech was not as affected as it is today. I refused to use a communicator during my late teens and 20s because I felt that with constant practice that my speech would be clearer. And I thought that using a clunky communicator overshadowed my intelligence. I had enough trouble getting boys to notice me and not my disability. It wasn't until I moved out of my parents' house and on my own that I took stock of what I could and couldn't do. I was exhausted from people dictating what was pragmatic and what was impractical with my cerebral palsy. I had a good frenemy who helped me adjust to independent living. She was awesome, but she was a royal pain in the ass too. We knew each other since we were 10 or 11 until she passed away in 2009. She had cerebral palsy with severe scoliosis. She was nonverbal, but that didn't keep her from cussing me out, or anyone, for that matter. She introduced me to Temple University's ACES program, which was held on campus for 3 weeks during summertime. During the early summer of 2001, I attended Temple University's Augmentative Communication and Empowerment Supports program for 2 weeks. Talk about a 360 change. I kicked myself for not taking ACEs seriously when my high school sent me there during my junior year. Hey, I was stubborn, and my father frowned upon me utilizing a communicator. The moment ACEs lended me a pathfinder, my whole life changed. I could tell people what I thought without being frustrated with repeating myself a gagillion times. That pissed me off to no end. The Pathfinder was not the holy grail of communicators. It utilized MinSpeak as its output program. I was, and still am, a speller. So, I quit using the Pathfinder and continued being frustrated by people who couldn't understand my speech. Typical Lisa. Stubborn as hell. That changed around 2004 to 2005 when my caseworker sent a speech pathologist to my apartment to evaluate my verbal skills. The pathologist recommended I use Mercury Communicator, a device that was Windows-based. It was like a clunky, thick iPad. I loved it. I created my own communication board. I stored tons of data to be at the ready for any situation. But, ironically, this device that had updated mobility became extinct within a year and a half. So, again, I found myself without a communicator. iPhone. What a beautiful sight. Easy texting. Easy speakerphone. Singing. Yes. At first I didn't know how much it would help me. When it first came out summer 2007, I hesitated to buy it at first. Another fad gadget. But I needed some texting device to replace the T-Mobile Sidekick. So I thought, what the hell? After setting it up and charging the battery, I gave it a test drive. I typed something in the Notes app and pressed the speak command from a floating menu bar that appeared after a long press on the screen. The speech wasn't ideal, but it was something. Over the years, I experimented using various augmentative and alternative communication AAC applications on the iPhone. My first AAC application was SpeakIt. This was a simple text-to-speech application. I found it extremely useful. There was a huge drawback. I couldn't customize the layout to fit my needs. I tried another application called Prologue to Go in 2010. Big waste of money. I hated the format of the program. It was designed for nonverbals who lack vocabulary skills. The next application I tried was Verbally in 2011. I was very pleased with this application. The layout included frequent words and a QWERTY layout. Only drawback: limited phrase storage space, and the output screen was extremely small. Otherwise, it was a decent application. wanted something better. I wanted to be able to customize my communication board. I didn't want to be forced to use a stoic, cookie-cutter board that didn't fit my personality. I wanted the same program that was on the Mercury communicator embedded in an application. I found such an application in 2018 called Speech Assistant. To me, Speech Assistant is the best AAC application for nonverbal users of iPhone and iPad. The developer is extremely nice and accommodating to users' needs and recommendations. In fact, I am using it right now. Since this application is geared towards high-functional users, users have the ability to manipulate the end result to their desires. I would highly recommend high-functional nonverbal users of iPhone and iPad to try this app. It is worth it. I hope this video helped you understand the frustration bestowed on nonverbal cerebral palsy individuals. We try our best to match the pace of communication among verbals, and one day we might succeed in doing so. But please be patient when interacting with us. We have so much to say.